What's up, guys? This is Okeanos, and I'm here to show you how to create a virtual machine on the Windows 10 operating system. So how I learned creating a virtual machine, I did not go to school or anything. I haven't had any formal education in IT. I'm entirely self-taught, and I actually created my first VM off of a couple network chuck videos. So it's very simple. Don't feel intimidated by tech, and don't feel intimidated by VM and how many hypervisor opportunities there are to use. Personally, I really like VMware. As I'll show you in a moment. I got the trial version of VMware. I've used VirtualBox before as well. I realized I really prefer VMware just for how user-friendly it is. VirtualBox always seems to give me some kind of issues. It might just be because I'm on a Windows operating system, but anyway. So first things we're going to do, we're going to open up VirtualBox, or VMware actually. So let's open up VMware. So the thing about VMware is it needs administrator permissions to run, so you always want to right click and run as administrator. I'm going to really quick show you what happens when you don't do that. So let's just say we open this up. I already have one running, so just ignore that for now. We're going to start from the beginning. So as you can see, my evaluation period done in 4 days. I might actually buy it though. Okay, so we're going to create a new virtual machine. Oh, you know what? Actually, it's gonna let us go through that. So we're gonna attempt to ignore the name of this one. We're gonna attempt to get into this, and if you see now, it says it requires administrator privilege. However, when you click this, it still gives you a fail error. So you need to start the entire application up as an administrator. So VMware. I'm going to run as administrator, and now you can see it's running as administrator, and it pops on open. Again, we're going to ignore that for now. Okay, so very simple and easy. First thing you do when you open up your VMware workstation, create a new virtual machine. Very easy. Now you're going to what did I do here? Custom, and we'll just use typical. If this is your first time creating a virtual machine, I would recommend not doing messing around with anything in the advanced options, but I was when I was making my other one. So anyway, I see now what I had to do. Alright, yeah, so we're gonna do custom. Okay, yeah, and we're gonna do an installer. Yeah, we'll do Ubuntu, that's fine. I think I also have Tails. I might do Tails instead. I want to show you guys Tails operating system. Okay, so to show you guys how to use Tails operating system, you're going to want to go back, click on custom to mess with all of the fine-tuned stuff. Now you're going to go into installer disk image file. I already have Ubuntu. I had to go on the hunt for my Tails. For some reason I dropped it in the dumbest place possible. Okay, now you can see that I have Tails, the Tails image sitting in my installer right there. So now you're going to click next. Tails is based off of an Ubuntu system, so you're going to go with Ubuntu 64-bit. Next, and make sure that you click Linux for the guest operating system. You're not going to want to go with your host operating system, like for instance my host operating system right now is a Windows 10. For the image that I'm going to be writing to my VM, it's going to be a Linux operating system because Tails runs off of Linux. Okay, so now you can see Ubuntu, I already made one, so let's just change this name to Tails OS. next. So good rule of thumb for memory. Memory is actually very important. How you want to use the memory for I can't fucking talk. For your virtual machine is very important. So first things first, you always want to make sure that you're going to let it be dynamically allocated. Specifying my memory allocated. Okay, I'm sure that's another option. However, because dynamically allocated means that it's not going to use up all of the memory that you allot to it, unless it gets to that point. It's very important to never give your VM more memory than you have available. So an easy way to double check how much memory you actually have available in Windows is you just come down here, type in RAM, view RAM info, and then you can see right here, right here, installed RAM. And I have 12 gigabytes, I have 9 left. I'm on Windows 11. Why was I saying 10? Anyway, Windows 11. So then the rule of thumb you want to make sure is that you never use more than about 25% of your total RAM, how much you have on your host system, because you can really mess things up if you give it too much RAM. So say I give it that much RAM, I'm effed. Totally effed, because I don't even have that much RAM on my computer. So I have 12 gigs, so I'm going to bring this down to 20%, which is about 3 gigs. If it wants to work. 3 gigs. And next. We're gonna do this because I have a VPN set up. Just gonna swap that real quick. Not that it matters. Tails uses Tor browser. It's fine. Click next. Click next. This might be changed under specific circumstances, but for purposes of this video, just click next. I'm going to create a new virtual disk, yes. Split it, yes. Tails OS, there we go, it's being saved. That's where it's being saved. Take one last look over everything, make sure it looks good. You can always customize the hardware if you really want to. Things like change the memory again if you really want to. Within this, you can... Yeah, I remember I was having an issue where I had to mess around with connected status. For this, you can change where your network is coming from, so you can make its own custom network. Just say host only VMnet. I'm gonna use this to share my original IP address. I'm using a VPN anyway, so it's not my real IP address. But this way that I have easy access to the internet. And then there's other things that you can do, like encrypting your virtual machine, which not really necessary unless you're worried about someone messing with your stuff. So yep, you can encrypt it right there, but you have to be using UEFI firmware. UEFI firmware. Okay, so we're gonna close that. And we're gonna finish. And now, simple as that, you have your virtual machine. Next thing you do, power on the machine, and now it's loading. Now, when we open up Tails actually runs super fast. We're just gonna, come on, boot. There we go. Tails installs super fast, and when we open up Tails, it's actually gonna give us a little error message about how we're using a paid, virtual machine software, because if it's paid, that means they can spy on you. You really only use open source software, VirtualBox. I know I said earlier in the video that I prefer VMware for the usability, but it's really weighing the pros and cons there. VirtualBox, once I get a little bit more dirt under my boots, I might I might switch over to VirtualBox permanently, especially because I don't want to have to pay for it for a hypervisor when there's so many free ones out there. I attempted to get Hyper-V to work, but for some reason on my machine it doesn't want to work. So, I'm trying to download the Windows, what's left of Windows. It wasn't working. Anyway. So, Tails is starting up. There we go. And welcome to Tails. We're going to start Tails. Nice and minimalistic. It's very clean, sleek. Just kind of gets straight to the point. That's what I love about it. Now, disclaimer. When you're using Tails operating system, installing on a virtual machine is actually a big no-no. This advice is purely for educational purposes. Do not do anything malicious. You're going to get caught. As you can see, Tails is giving us a nice big alert right here, telling us about how we can't trust this virtual machine provider because it's paid. It's not open source. So, really the only way to stay completely private using Tails is to write it to an external drive, like a USB, and then pop it in. And then you don't really want to use it for a virtual machine for that reason specifically, which is popped up there. And additionally, it can write, because the virtual machine is written to your drive, as you can see, it fell into my own user drive. You're not protected. That virtual machine is written to your host machine's drive. So, if you truly want to be as private as possible, you need to write it to an external drive where there's nothing but Tails OS on it. So what we're going to do here, I don't need anything crazy, I'm not even going to use this. I do like using Tor in general for browsing the ClearNet, so that, I'm not getting all types of crazy tailored ads to myself that I never really agreed to. All the crazy cookies that websites ask for now. So Tor is good for that. That's something that a lot of people don't seem to know about, is that Tor isn't actually just for browsing the darknet. You can just browse the ClearNet on Tor, and it's fine. So let's open up Tor. I'm going to go into Applications. Tor browser right there. There's a bunch of nice applications that are included in Tails. We'll go over that in a couple seconds. And like I said, you never really want to write this to a virtual machine. It's just not a smart thing to do. If you're looking for privacy, there are legitimate reasons for people to have privacy, like whistleblowers and whatnot, like Tails has on their website. For me, I don't really have anything to hide, so I'm just going to go on google.com, just go to images. Stop it. Images. It's just telling me I need to manually upgrade it. And as you can see, it is asking for cookies in an entirely different language that I do not know. I'm just going to say nope. I don't know if that was the right one or not. Now we're going to look for cat pictures. Oh yes. Xfinity, come arrest me right now. And there you have it. We just looked for cat pictures on Tor browser, and they are very cute. Look at that. The default on Tor browser, the default search engine is DuckDuckGo, as you can see right there. DuckDuckGo is very private, so we'll get different results if we look for them on DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo is also centered around privacy. It's not going to steal your info like Google will. There are ways to ask Google to delete your info, which might be best practice if you're trying to kind of come off the grid a little bit, and not have Daddy Bezos know every single thing about your life. Which I'm of the opinion that there's nothing really sketchy about wanting privacy. It's sort of like a basic human right to be autonomous over your own information. And it's kind of strange that we live in the current day where it's not really valued in any way, and we just have this illusion of privacy that's fed to us, spoon-fed by these big corporations that rule our government. And really, it's just another way for them to take away, our autonomy. And I'm not cool with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to have some privacy. It's the same as having a door in your bedroom when you're a child. You're not doing anything wrong. It's just having the right to your own privacy. And it's like considered abuse when parents take the door off of their kids' bedrooms. So why is it not considered kind of weird that we just willingly give up every facet of our entire lives to these big conglomerates that just want to use us as money makers? So hence why I'm looking for cat pictures on DuckDuckGo, on Tor browser, on Tails OS, on a virtual machine right now. And they could still find me if they really wanted to. Right now, anytime you use Tor browser or Tails OS, your ISP, which is your internet service provider, mine is Xfinity, they can see that you're using Tor browser. They can't tell exactly what you're doing, but it's pretty easy to follow you back when you follow the IP addresses, what traffic was on it before you pulled open Tor, and then what traffic was on it after you closed down Tor. So you can be traced back very easily. Which is why it's always a good idea to swap around your IP addresses on your VPN. Okay, so another nice little tool that Tor has. First of all, they have Thunderbird. That's very nice. Email provider. Again, all about privacy. Cleopatra, I believe, is their directory for their emails. KeyPass, I have no idea. I know that they have a hash thing in here. They apparently have a metadata wiper. You can unlock encrypted files. You can you can scan documents. That's pretty cool. You can also encrypt files. If I find it, they have Audacity. Nice. And they have all of these open source, basically open source Word, on the safe browser. Thanks, Tails. And then, obviously, like I said earlier, you're using Tor browser, so you can browse all the .onion websites, which are, the deep web. You're on the deep web. You also have Pigeon Internet Messenger, nice and secure. Yeah, there was something in here I wanted to show you guys where you can encrypt and decrypt files. I think it might have actually been Cleopatra. As you can see, I haven't used this very much. Not much at all. And I've used Linux in general, not very much at all. Yeah, so you can sign and encrypt, decrypt. You can open up your notepad. Yeah, very nice tool for all of that. And then they give you all of these directories for emailing Tails as you need. And that's pretty much it. So we're on Tails right now. As you can see, Tor browser, Tor connection. Tor just comes built in. If you didn't know, Tor browser is a Firefox-based browser. Pretty cool. You can turn on and off all these little features. You can change your language. You can open up onion circuits. There's tons of stuff here. And like I said, if you use this on a VM, you're gonna get caught. Don't even try. Don't do it for anything suspicious. Purely for educational purposes. This stuff's cool. It's really neat that we have it. Go ahead and look for cat pictures on Google. Nobody's gonna smite you down. But you know, a little bit suspicious when you start using it and your ISP is like, what are you doing that you don't want us to see? So if you start using it for genuinely suspicious things, just don't, dude. Just don't. So yeah, that is Tails OS on a VM through VMware. Very simple, very easy. Hopefully this helped you guys. And hopefully the info that I gave about VMs a little bit further drives your journey in tech. Mess around with VMs. The great thing about VMs is that even if you mess up, you know, things as an administrator, say you're in sudo in a Linux machine, in a Linux terminal, and you decide to delete all the file directories for no reason, it's okay because you destroyed the operating system, but it's a virtual machine, so you just have to close it down and make a new one, and your actual host machine is not destroyed even a little bit, and I'll demonstrate that right now by closing out. Tails OS is still powered on, it's not running, so we're going to power off and go back over to home, and now it's gone. No more Tails OS. And as you can see, my evaluation period is ending in 4 days. So sounds like we're going back to VirtualBox or Hyper-V, back to the drawing board. Anyway, this has been Okeanos Tech, and thank you for watching. Stay tuned and subscribe and leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed the video.